Hello everyone, welcome to another Trenity demo. In this demo, I will be showing you how to organize data and datasets in your trusted research environment. Trenity is a self-hosted platform for managing data, projects, users, and file transfers in secure or trusted research environments. For this demo, I've logged in as an admin, which will give me access to all the features of the platform. When you're working with data and datasets in Trenity, you will be working across various tools. One of them is the Asset Manager. Depending on what you're doing, you might need to work with the catalog, the glossary, and the metadata manager. For this demo, I'll be spending most of my time in the Asset Manager. So when I click on the Asset Manager, I am presented with this grid, and this is where you will find all the assets you've got access to. But because I've logged in as an admin, I can access every asset in the TRE, every data set in the TRE rather. But if I were to log in as a standard user, I would only see assets that I've got access to. From a admin and a manager point of view, this is where you can do a number of things like add a new asset. You can also search for assets, filter assets, and also export a list of all the assets you've got in your environment. If you go to the add asset form, I just want to show you a few things here. And I want to talk about the required tags. In Trenity, we've got two types of tag, regular tag and scope tags. With the scope tags, you can do a number of things with that. You can add conditions and logic to provide a form of uniformity for your data sets when it comes to metadata. So in this particular example, we can see that the data manager is requiring us to add at least one tag from the following scopes. So all these words you see here are different scopes and they contain different tags. So if I wanted to create a new asset in the TRE, I would need to satisfy this condition before I can create that asset. So to satisfy this condition, I will need to come to the tagging section and look for classification. And you can see that in the classification scope, we've got 5 tags. So I need to select at least one. I can decide to say this asset I'm creating is going to be a tier 3 asset from a classification point of view. Click on that. The next tag I need to select, the next scope I need to select is file format. And for the file format scope, the manager has put a logic for us to select one or more. So we could say the asset that we're bringing in has got Excel files in it, and we can select Excel. We can also say that the asset has also got CSV files in it, and we can select CSV. So we can select one or more from that particular scope. The next scope we need to look at is the has PII, and we can see that in this particular scope, there are only 2 options. So we have to select one, and then we say, yes, it's got PII. The next scope is the publisher. And then from the publisher, we can see that we've got a number of tags in this scope, and we can select the one we want. I can put in this particular example, NHS England. And then I need to select a tag from the subject scope. And in this particular one, I can put health. So right now, you can see that the notification for required tags has disappeared. That is because we have satisfied the requirements for metadata on this asset. I can go ahead and add more tags if I wanted to, but we are required by the data manager to add tags from the following scope. And so that's very useful if you want to unify your metadata in your environment and make discovering assets easy for your user. So I'm going to go back to the asset manager, and I'm just going to show you one of the assets that I've created for this demo. If I click on this asset number 45 and I go into it, what you'll see quickly is the name. You can see the asset ID. So just basic information about this data set or asset. The date it was created, the last date it was updated. You can see the status and then the category. When you come into the main body, you can see the description. You can also see those tags that we've just added in there. And when you hover on a tag, you can easily see the description of that tag, just to give you a better understanding of why that tag has been applied to this particular asset. And so if you hover over the classification tag, you're going to see some write-up there. If you go over the file format and things like that. And this can be easily amended in the metadata module. When you go below that, you're going to see the related assets. So you can add relationships to your asset. So for instance, if this asset we're looking at has got relationships with other assets, you can define those relationships here. In this particular example, we can see that this data set replication data contains information from this other data set, ODS health authorities. We can also see a relationship saying that it was derived from this other data. So you can add various relationships to your data, and we've got a lot of scenarios here. So, if you can use contains, haspat, uses, or anything. And when you add a relationship when you link data between each other, we also have a reverse relationship logic as well. So for instance, if you take a look at this example, it says replication data contains 004, contains 004. So if I go into this asset now, 004, I will see a reverse relationship between 004 and 045. In this particular example, you can see here that it says that 004 is contained in asset 0045. So you have that automatic reverse relationship going on. So when you add a relationship between assets, they get linked together. So I'm going to go back to asset 45 just to continue our demo. The next pane you're going to see here is the discussion pane, and this is where standard users and stewards can have a discussion regarding this asset. So if you wanted to ask a question or you wanted to make a comment regarding this asset, you can do that right from the discussion pane. On the right hand side, you can see details about the asset. You can also see the asset owner if you wanted to, just to know who to contact. You can also see the stewards that are responsible for this asset. So if you have any question regarding the asset, you know who to contact. The next tab is the files tab, and this is where your files for the asset is going to be housed. In Trenity, we have two ways of adding files to assets. You can either upload your files into the asset folder, or you can connect an existing storage, and I'm going to talk about that in the remote storage video, where you can connect an existing container in Azure or an existing bucket in AWS to your assets. That way, you don't need to migrate or you don't need to move your data sets. The next tab you're going to see is the projects tab. In Trenity, what we do is we apply access permissions at the project level. So in Trenity, you do not grant asset access to individuals directly. An individual needs to belong to a project, and then the project is granted access to the asset. So that's something you can do from here. In the next tab, you're going to see the access tab, which is where you can see everyone who's got access to this data set. And you can see that we've got quite a number of people in the member section. And this is because it is pulling the information from the project. So even though we've got just 2 projects added here for permissions, in the access tab, you can drill further to see who the members of those projects are. So all these people you're seeing here are from those 2 projects that were added to the asset. And also, if you wanted to drill further to know exactly how a user is getting access to the data set or to the asset, you can click on the project link here, and then you will be able to see that this particular user, Kiera, is receiving access from these 2 projects. So if you wanted to take Kiera out of this data set, you would need to remove her from these 2 projects, and then she will lose access to the data set. We also have the discussion pane, which is what I showed you in the overview pane. The next tab is the updates tab, and this is where the steward or the owner can provide updates regarding the assets. You can provide updates regarding changes, transformation of the asset right in this pane here. And then the last tab is the activities tab. This is where you're going to see an audit trail of everything that is happening with this asset. So any change that is being made to the asset will be recorded in this pane. So as a data manager or a TRA manager, this just makes your life a lot easier because you can see everything in one place. You can provide access to your data sets. You can, collaborate with users on a particular data set, and everything is in context. You don't have to do this on a separate page or a separate tool. Everything is in one place, and that is our goal with Trenity, to provide all the tools in one place. So so that's just a quick overview of how to manage data sets in your TRE using Trenity. Please look out for more videos, and if you've got any questions at all, please email me, michael@trenity.co.uk, and I'll be sure to respond. Thank you very much. Bye for now.